Welcome to SheExperts, Breaking Barriers Through Sports. This is a series of the ITK podcast, Experts in Global Sports, Voices of Change. Listen to unshared knowledge, projects, experiences and stories of the ITK women in sports. In this episode, I spoke to Isabel from Mozambique. She participated in the sports management course of the ITK in 2018-2019 and is also the ITK ambassador for her country. She is a sports science graduate and is now doing a master's degree in Gender, Globalization and Rights in Ireland. In the meantime, between her bachelor and master degree, she's worked for the National Olympic Committee of Mozambique as a project manager of gender equality and women in sports. She is also a secretary of the General Assembly of the Soccer Association of her city. She spoke about how her curiosity got her to start playing football, about the importance of role models, and why she stopped playing football and engaged in Taekwondo at her university. As she is a leader in sports herself, she is running the project Women Leaders in Sport, a project which is made to spread knowledge and tools to improve leadership skills to young athletes, aspiring leaders, mainly women. We spoke about what is necessary to be a leader and how Isabel's master course about gender is connected to sport. Sport as a tool for development in different areas of society like health, well-being and peace. Enjoy listening. Yeah, okay. Thank you for being on this podcast of the ITK.
It's a pleasure.
We're speaking from Germany to Ireland, but you're not from Ireland, so maybe you could explain a bit, where you're from and why are you in Ireland right now?
Yeah, so I am from Mozambique. So I came here in Ireland to make a master's degree in gender, globalization and rights. Like I've been working in Mozambique in gender equality, but in sports, So I applied these courses back home. I saw it from the Irish government. I saw it. I was very interested and I was really looking forward to see this course, to do it, because in Mozambique we don't really have it. So I applied it and I was accepted, but it was a really difficult process because like all Africa and many continents were applying to the same program and a lot of people for the same courses, but I got it.
So. Nice. But so this is a postgraduate program or like master degree?
It's a master degree. It's a 1-year master degree. So as you can imagine, it's very intense.
Yeah.
Normally a master degree takes like 2 years, but this 1 year is taking 1 year, with what makes it being very intense, challenging. And for you to know, Mozambique is not an English speaker. We are like Portuguese speaker. So I'm having also language challenges, like academic English. It's different than my regular English, But it's been amazing. I'm evolving in many different ways.
But so you did your bachelor degree in Mozambique?
Yes.
In which topic?
Well, I did my bachelor, but in Mozambique, we don't actually call it bachelor. We call it like a degree.
Okay.
We call it a degree, but that's just a different education system. But I would say it's the same. It's the same equivalent if I compare with Germany, for example. I did it in sports science.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then I was in Germany. 2018 to 2019, I did my post-graduation in sports management. Yeah.
Where in Germany, or was it the ITK course?
Yes, it was an ITK course. Yes, it's an ITK course in Leipzig from University of Leipzig. Yeah, so it was also an amazing experience.
But so you did your sports science degree in Mozambique, and do you still remember why did you study sports science, or what is your connection to sport?
Yeah, well, since I was little, I was always exposed to sports. I played sports at school. I used to see a lot of women playing sports, and they were very skillful. And I looked at them. I was like, oh, I want to be like that woman. But back then, women, their main role model were men. I started with soccer, and the role models for women were male. You know, like they would see men playing soccer, and it was amazing for them, and they would try to be like a certain man. You know, and I saw these women that their role models were men, and I wanted to be like them. So I was inspired by these women playing soccer in a certain way that was very skillful, and I wanted to be like them, and I engaged in sports at school. And then when I finished my school, like my middle school, I saw this course like sports at the university, and it was new, so I was the first integrant of this course. So I was like, oh, it's still sports. I can just continue with my passion in sports. So that's how I got it.
So football was always your sport, or did you change after that?
Football was always my sport. It has been my sport, but and I played football. I played like school football, which is very important in Mozambique. We have like scholar sports festival, and I played in this championship for maybe 2 years. But when I went to university, I engaged in Taekwondo. But
wow.
yeah, but the reason that made me stop with soccer, I know it's silly, but it was because I was becoming like a man. I was looking like a man, you know, my features looking like a man, and people would start asking me if I was a girl or a man, you know. So yeah, so it started to make me feel uncomfortable. So I was, nah, I don't want to look like a man. I want to look like a woman as I am. And then I changed, but I still have my passion.
But so you played with girls, or you played with boys when you were a child?
In my neighborhood, I played with boys, but at school, I played with women.
Okay, so there was the possibility. Like, I wondered, how was it in your country for like young girls wanting to play football? Like, if it was even, yeah, if they have the access to play, and if yes, like how is it for girls? Are there girls teams or?
Back then, not a lot of women teams, but now it's really, really better. Back then, it was something like a lot of men in the neighborhoods would play soccer, and women were doing something else, some women games, not engaging in male games, you know. But some women would even enjoy to play with men. However, at school, it was different because it has some structure. There is a teacher to maybe create some sort of team of girls and boys. So if you're a girl, you can engage in girl team. If you're a boy, you can engage in a boy teams. But sometimes they could put us together. Yeah.
And like, was sport always part of your life, or did your parents push you to that, or was it your idea, or how did you in general like sport become part of your life?
I was always curious about things, and I liked to watch TV, and I would see a lot of things on the TV, and I was getting curious about what they are doing, how they are doing, and I would see people and want to be like them. So like I was born in a community that, you know, in a Mozambican context, it's poor. It's a poor community. Like I was born in a poverty, you know. So, you know, when you are in a poverty, you see other people and you want to become like them. You want to be somewhere else. You want to grow. So I wanted that for me, and I tried a lot of things, and I saw a lot of people playing sports that I wanted to be like them. And one of the most thing that impact on me to follow sports was that I was seeing people clap to players, to athletes, you know. People would go to stadiums to see two people or many athletes playing, and they were clapping at them, they were cheering at them. And I was like, okay, I could be that person.
Yeah, that's a good motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that shows like how important role models are for a young child, a girl, or also a boy. But like you see other people and you want to be like them.
Yeah.
I think your project for the ITK Changemaker was about women leaders in sport, right?
Yes.
So yeah, these women leaders, I think for them role models are also very important, right?
Yes. Very
Could you explain a
important.
bit about this program that you started?
Well, this program is running in two phases. We have done the first phase. I work in a team, and it was a project also made with like partnership with the National Olympic Committee, and I have these partners, and this program was to run in the whole country, and for now we have done it for 6 provinces in Mozambique. So we are like expecting to have another investment, financial support to run in the remaining provinces. So each province, there were like 2 people there to do a workshop, a seminar, to talk with these women and men, and the media, because we believe media are very important to send the right message. Yeah, so this project ran to these provinces, and we are looking forward to run into the remain provinces in Mozambique. Yeah.
So your idea is like, how do you reach these women or also men? Who are these people?
These people, they are athletes, leaders, or people aspiring to be leaders, mainly women. Our project is 75% for women, and the 25% is for men. So it's about empowering them and give them tools to improve their leadership skills. In other provinces, they don't have the same opportunities like in the province where I live, the capital city. So we wanted to bring them these tools to make them big, to like work on what they want and what they've been doing. And they are leaders, they are athletes, they are mothers, they even have some small academies, associations, clubs, but they don't have enough tools to run these projects. They are projects. So yeah, so we believe we can give them insights of how they do it, because leadership is a key method to, like increase small organizations and civil society in general. Yeah.
And would you say you're in a women leadership position, like
sorry, come again?
Would you say that you're in a leadership position, like you work for the National Olympic Committee of your country, right?
Yes. Yes, I consider myself a leader, and I work at National Olympic Committee as a project manager of gender equality and women in sports. Like, I am the person responsible of developing, monitoring, and running projects regarding women in Mozambique, because National Olympic Committee works for, like, it's a nationwide organization. So the projects I run, it's like I also have a team, yes, and we do projects like for the whole country. But I am the person who is there to make sure that everything is written somewhere, and then with my other bosses, we also evaluate them. And other thing is that I am also an ambassador of I'm ITK ambassador in Mozambique, which is also a leadership position. I also work as the secretary of the General Assembly in the soccer association in my city, which is the highest position. Is like the third highest position in this association, and it's a really big association in Mozambique. So yes, I have leadership roles in Mozambique, and I still have a lot ahead. So you will hear from me the next time we talk about leadership.
I'm curious. But yeah, I think to be in a leadership position, one of the most important things is to be self-confident, and maybe through sport you can gain the self-confidence. But I wonder, like, how did you gain this self-confidence to just say, yeah, I'm a leader, I can do this, I will take this job? And
I think part of being a leader is something natural. So I consider myself naturally leader, but I also had skills that I acquired, like with courses, with working with other people, reading, watching other people. But I also think I'm a leader also, like in my personality, so I think I dared to do things because of my curiosity, and like, I mean, I was always open to do things, even being shy, even being nervous. I always overcome to, like, being nervous or my flows to do something. And I like to communicate. I really enjoy to communicate. So I know I have to do this. So I think it's natural.
So you've always been like this, or do you feel like you've learned that in a certain period of your life?
I also learned it. Yes, I watched people. I watched movies also where I could see women, like, in their leadership positions. Like, you see, sometimes, like, power can be perceived as a male thing, it's like power is male, is masculine. So when you see a woman in that role of being masculine, it's also powerful. So I could see those women and just want to be like them. And in my, like, growing up, I didn't have, like, a role model, like, near me. I have my mother, yes, but unfortunately I lost her very like early, so I couldn't have maybe a lot of memories of what memories, or maybe knowledge enough to know what is being to be a leader or not. So I learned it from watching people, and I wanted to be like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you have any negative experiences, like being a leader, for example, in your National Olympic Committee? I imagine that you were mostly one of the few women probably in the meetings or in your work, or is that wrong?
Well, it's challenging to work in organization like National Olympic Committee or everywhere. Being a woman is very challenging. We women face a lot of things at our workplace, and I also had some challenging. Sometimes you feel like someone or some people are not approving your ideas, are maybe disapproving you. Maybe you can have that feeling of they are not giving you credit enough because you're not a man. It's like I cannot talk a lot in like in National Olympic context. I can't really, but I can give a general thing. Like sometimes you feel like there are inequalities. In general, you can feel that women receive less salary than men. But the last 6 years with the president we have now, he is very aware about gender equality, and he has improved a lot in this matter. We have a lot of women now. We are now more women than men in the National Olympic Committee, so it has been improved. It has improved a lot. With the programs we also run, with the recommendations from the International Olympic Committee, it's something that we were aware that we had to do something, and the president, he did something to improve that. The last years was really bad. I can't lie about this. It was really bad regarding women. We had a lot of challenge. I faced a lot of challenges. I can't tell you exactly what, because I don't want to have problems with my with my employer. But now it's better. It's really better.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you're still when you're coming back from Ireland, you're going back to the committee, or you quit your job?
Well,
Or you don't know?
no. I will probably be back. Yes, but of course, if I find something better, because the idea is to evolve, right? Is to develop.
Yeah,
So I'm sure my employer also wants me to develop, to evolve, and embrace new challenges. So, but I also have personal goals. I have something. I'm preparing something, and I hope that at the end of the next year I will be finished. I intend to go private, to work for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm still cooking that.
Yeah. Okay. So still secret.
Yes, exactly. It's a secret.
Okay.
I'm still cooking.
But your master degree that you're doing now in gender, globalization, and rights is not connected to sport, right? It's general.
No, it's not directly connected to sports. But the curious thing about sport is it's connected with a lot of things. You see, like sport. We can see sports as a tool for development, and I see sports as a tool for development. And working in sports, I realized that I am able to work on my national SDG goals, like sustainable development goals, right?
Yeah.
So we have 17 sustainable development goals, and working in sports gives me opportunity to work on 4, namely gender equality, which is related to the course I'm doing. So this, I'm giving now the connection between sports and gender, that the course I'm doing it now, you see.
Yeah.
Like, so we use sports to promote gender equality, to promote women. So this is one of the SDG goal, right? And then another SDG goal is promote health. Sports promote health, right? We know if we practice sports, we are promoting our well-being. That's another SDG goals. And also peace. I mean, I could name a lot of things that sports
you can all apply it to sport.
Yeah. So it's not connected. The course I'm doing, it's not directly connected to sports, but sports is directly connected to it, like, and all things. So I don't feel lost.
Yeah, I can totally imagine. Also thinking about the leadership positions, like leadership positions in sport are, you can totally compare it to leadership positions in other areas. So it's always applicable.
Yes, exactly. It's the base is the same. The philosophy is the same, but there may be some specific techniques that you have to learn. Like if you are in an area, you have to learn the specifics of that area. But the general, the leadership, or the manager, the managing the things, they have like the a common basis, you know. Yeah, that's the thing.
Wow. So a lot of exciting things ahead. I'm curious about what you're cooking.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be really, really good. It will be, it will impact a lot, and the cooking is going very well.
Nice.
The cooking is very well.
Maybe as a last question, is there something that you could, or you would tell little girls or also boys in sports that grow up, that's something maybe you wished you knew before?
Well, the thing I wish I knew before is how dreaming big can change our life. Dreaming is really, really important, no matter the situation you are in, you know. So I told you before, I was born in poverty, right? So what kept me going and believing? It's dreaming. I was dreaming and looking for things similar to my dream, you know. So dream and look for things that will make you nearer to your dreams, to what you dream for yourself, and never give up. That's the thing I would tell. I wish I knew before.
Yeah, thank you so much, Isabel.
Yeah, and maybe I knew, but I wasn't aware. That's another thing, you know.
Yeah, that's a difference, right?
Yeah. Anyway, and thank you a lot for inviting me to do this podcast. This is amazing.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for listening to this episode of SheExperts, Breaking Barriers Through Sports, a podcast of the International Trainer course, Experts in Global Sports. If you feel addressed by what has been said, if you might have similar projects or ideas or experiences, if you have any resources to support the woman I spoke to, any ideas, funds, knowledge or skills, Or if you just liked listening to this podcast, get in touch with ITK Women on Instagram and Facebook and be part of the community. You, me, us must protect women's rights and bodies. Together, we break all barriers through sports. It starts with us and with you.